Hello, welcome out there to Life and Relationship Realities. Mm, should I say Happy Valentine? No, that was last week. So, well, if you miss something about Valentine, you can still, kind of just still greet yourself. It's never too late. And for everyone that is watching, that will be watching, I want to ask, how was your Valentine? How did you go with your Valentine celebration? A lot of people are still arguing, should Christians celebrate Valentine? Should Christians not celebrate Valentine? For me, God is love, and I've checked the story of Valentine multiple times, and well, not so multiple times. And I feel that for me, there's nothing wrong, as long as it is not used for evil, But the Bible says God is love, and if a day is set aside to recognize that love, not just the love of God, but love for one another, love in relationship, why not if not? That add to another time of celebrating when you're married or in a relationship, the person celebrates you on your birthday. Yeah, great. So that's another celebration. Actually, the celebration of um loving one another and caring about one another. So, but today I want to talk about something as beautiful as love is. There are things that can destroy love in a relationship. There are things that can threaten, the existence of love in itself. There are those things that can really, really threaten our love for one another, our love in relationship terms, our love even in family, in everything. This cut across relationship boundaries. It's not only, I'm not talking about only, people that love themselves, people that are dating, or people that are engaged. I'm talking about love generally. So there's something that is very, very important that I see over and over and over again. I was going to bring a story of something that I saw not over this weekend. I think it was the close of last month. About this story, I'm not going to talk about the country. I don't know if it's right for me to mention, but in a country, and the country happens to be an African country, and there's this influential person, influential lady that is a professional lady, and she started online, and people got to know her so well, like the nation knew her, like a person that was that popular. I'm not talking about fiction, I'm talking about real life issues. And what happened at the end of the day, this lady got married, had two kids, and she continued her business. Her business, she's a doctor, and she's a doctor, not just doctor, not just like medical doctor, of course, but does the this cosmetics and everything. I'm careful about pronouncing things wrongly, and she takes care of people, making people beautiful. She had her own place. I mean, like celebrities go to her. You know how celebrities are very careful about skin and all of those things. I mean, somebody like me, I know what it is to deal with skin pigmentation, and people know her. Then on the other side, in that same country, there's this guy that was a criminal. He had killed somebody, he raped somebody. He said he could not even stop himself, very manipulative and everything. And they sentenced that guy to life imprisonment. But the turn of things, years after, this guy started communicating with this lady online because they allow him to do all of those things, started communicating with the lady online. And before you know it, one day they said the guy died in his prison cell, that he was burnt. The prison cell caught fire. His own room, which he had told them is on Netflix. So anybody can watch this story that I'm talking about. The place where, like, the whole prison did not get burnt. In the place where he was, that was the place that got burnt. and they carried the dead, burnt body out. And I think they started investigating, and newspaper got involved, you know, investigative journalism. To cut the long story short, they discovered something, that that guy wasn't the person. The guy had escaped. When they started searching things, how did they escape? Whose body did they put there? Then they started tracing things back, and it shocked everybody to the marrow that this guy has escaped. The other lady has left her husband and was living with this criminal, this person that was sentenced to life imprisonment. I mean, a lot of things happened. They started looking for the person, and eventually they were able to cut them, both of them, because they started running. They ran out of their country, they ran to another country, and then to Tanzania, where they eventually found them. And everybody is asking the question, how does this girl go from this point to this point where she became a fugitive, a celebrated person? How did she become a fugitive? How did she become a criminal? The case is still in court. Uh, they have not done the final sentencing. But of course she's found guilty. But they have not done the whole thing. I don't think they have found her guilty yet. They're still throwing the trial and everything like that, you know. And I look at something in life. Some things we say, how did we get here? Sometimes we got there because we were not paying attention to little details, either in our relationship, either in our life. Like I said earlier, we just celebrated Valentine and everybody's happy, everybody's excited. Not everybody, people that had Valentine were excited. People that didn't have Valentine, some are even angry that what is the meaning of this Valentine? Is it really necessary? And people that have to buy things for their wife under pressure, they feel the pain too. But anyway, I got this flower. It's one of my daughter now. Her name is Taylor, and she sent me this flower yesterday. So thank God for that. I appreciate her, and I appreciate the love and the gesture for the flower to celebrate Valentine. So what I'm talking about today is insecurity. How does insecurity affect you? Insecurity affects you because insecurity can crumble something that is beautiful, something that is glorious, something that is meant to be. Insecurity have destroyed relationships that are meant to be. And some people have felt, oh, maybe I got married to a wrong person. Oh, maybe I was dating a wrong person. Sometimes it's not because you're dating a wrong person. Sometimes there are little things that can create that, either the man or the woman, both sides. So today we're not talking about, oh yeah, women behave like this or men behave like this. We're talking about generally insecurity. So insecurity for me is defined as uncertainty or anxiety about oneself, lack of confidence. Uncertainty is to say, oh, I don't know how it's gonna be. Oh, I don't know how it's gonna be. Several years ago I met somebody. The person is actually a pastor of the church I was attending. I was also a minister there and in England. And the guy, the pastor, the junior pastor, was going to marry this lady. He was married before and everything, and the wife left him. And the way the wife left him was really bad. He had children, and so he got traumatized, and he had to see a therapist. And so there's this other lady, the therapist, beautiful, very helpful, and eventually the therapist and the pastor started dating, and they were going to get married. This is a pastor, but this lady, I don't think she really cared about who God is at that point. I don't know about now, but something happened during the wedding, and the church has a foyer where people can sit and talk and everything. And I was asking, about this wedding, what are your expectations? She said, well, I don't know. We'll see if it lasts, if it doesn't last. And I was like, that's uncertainty. How do you go into something this very important without certainty to say, yes, we're going to make it work, which is the strength for a lasting relationship. When you say, okay, we're going to make it work, no matter what is happening, as long as somebody's life is not threatened, as long as somebody is not traumatized and having health issues because of marriage, you're saying whatever it is, we're going to walk through it, and come out strong out of it. So that certainty wasn't there. So how do you go into that? I didn't say, I mean, I was there, I think after they got married, I spent almost another year and then I left the place. So I don't know about it. So, but insecurity is when you have certain uncertainty. Uncertainty can come. This insecurity, sometimes one can be insecure for a minute. Like if you get into a place, let's say you get into a place, they say you are meeting somebody and the person you are meeting is the president of your country that wants to meet with you. Sometimes there can be those brief insecurity like, oh, am I properly dressed? Oh, do I look okay? Did I put my face? Why didn't you tell me? And that person feeling insecure, like, oh, I don't know how the president is going to look at me. I don't know the impression I'm creating. So those things can come. It's natural. But when it becomes your natural, when that way becomes your natural way of living, then it's no longer natural. It's a problem. And this problem can destroy something that is beautiful. Insecurity will bring jealousy. I've seen people that are married and they are not secured in themselves or in the relationship. Every time they want to check, oh, what is his number? Oh, who called you? Ah, who are you speaking with? Oh, that lady, how you did, like all kind of things. I'm not saying depending on people's situation, if they see that if you're married to a man that is a Maradona, and there's no trust, people can do those kind of things. But even at that, for me, I will feel that there's no point. If you are insecure in your relationship, either the woman is not trustworthy or the man is not trustworthy, and is over time that is creating a huge issue in your life, it's either that both of you take a break after seeing a counselor, and a counselor feel okay, both of you should take a little break while they work on the relationship. Or if you decide to stay on it, then why are you bothered? Why are you doing that? You can find a way to live your life. If that person have decided to say, this is the way that I want to live, I don't want to live like a proper human being, then you decide to stay on it, you can decide to not let those things keep bothering you. I'm not saying it will not bother you once in a while, but you tell yourself that you want to live your life and still be happy with yourself. So, but insecurity, if you don't deal with it, it's going to destroy you. That's the truth. I've had to deal with certain insecurity in my life before. So if you don't deal with the insecurity can actually deal with you, especially when it becomes your life and it is affecting everything around you. So there are traits of people that have insecurity. Sorry. There are traits of people that have insecurity. One of them is people pleasing. Some people may want to please people, not because like somebody like me, I like to make everybody happy, like as much as I can, like deny myself of certain things to make people happy. Sometimes that can be a form of insecurity. Sometimes some people have that because they're just compassionate about people. They want people to be happy. That gives them joy and so on. That can be. So when you're having that, you have to check, is that really insecurity or not? And the best way to check is to check people around you that can tell you the truth, because you can tell yourself, oh, no, this is just compassion. I'm just compassionate about other people. No, but people pleasing is a sign of insecurity because you want to be accepted. So if that is the essence why you're trying to please people at all time, then that is not just compassion, that is insecurity. If you do it and you don't care if they accept you, if they don't accept you, if it's okay, but insecurity come when you want to try to play so that they are not against you, so that they don't say bad things about you, so that they don't deal with you. Some people, even in relationship, you want to please your partner every time so that your partner does not hurt. Then that is insecurity at that point. There is no certainty. That insecurity, you are insecure in that relationship. Sometimes other people can make us feel secure. If you're into relationship where the other person is abusive, people in abusive relationship, you are not secure because even the environment is not secure. So you don't feel any sense of security there. And I've been in abusive relationships, and that can remove your confidence because you're moving. For some of us that unfortunately that have been through abusive relationship, you are moving, you don't know when the person may raise hand against you or traumatize you or something. So you are very careful. You want to do, even when the person is not, you are saying, can I give you food? Can I? All of those things because of insecurity. So you want to please that person. So there's that insecurity because there's that insecurity because you want to, that makes you want to please that person, even when there should be no need for that. The second thing is controlling. So people that are insecure, the other side of people that are insecure, there are some people that are insecure, they want to control. They want to control. I've seen where a woman becomes a god in the home, and she has to be the one to control the husband. Can you not do this? Did you do this? Did you do? And the husband is even afraid. That's controlling. Sometimes it's a man. Some people like, oh, did you talk to me like that? Am I this? When you find that, that's when people will begin to say, oh, my wife doesn't respect me. When you hear as a counselor, if my wife doesn't respect me, you need to really sit down and ask the guy, what is he talking about? Because some people, that respect means that I sit down and I put my hand on you, I put my leg on you. You don't have to say, I have the say because I'm the head of this home. No, that is insecurity. Men that are secure, they see their wives as partners. They see their wife as another human being that has brain, and so she can reason. And sometimes they see they are able to get blessed a lot from their wife that can reason well when you treat your wife as your partner rather than as somebody that you control. Go sit down there, stand up there. No. Even some women behave like that. And they're like, oh, you are the head, I'm the neck. Like, how do we even come to all of this analogy that we're given? When a woman is insecure, he wants to control the husband because that's the only way that she feels secure. When the husband does everything of her bidding, let's do this. It has to be the wife. And he follows because he's careful so that the wife does not create major issue. That is also insecurity. So a man can be insecure in the marriage, the wife can be insecure in marriage, but marriage should be a safe place. A safe place where you both of you feel secured with one another. A safe place where both of you can be vulnerable to one another. A wife can make mistake and the husband can understand that, oh, this is not my wife. This is a mistake and we get over it and we move forward. A woman and the wife is willing to really apologize, to say, oh, I'm sorry, I got it wrong here. Not the wife telling the husband, yes, you made me do this. This is, So controlling is another thing. People that are in control. Look at even leaders that want to control people. The truth is they are insecure. So they want to use force so that the subject can be afraid, can fear. That's when they feel. Yeah, that is it. Even there are bosses at work that don't learn to laugh with the people that they work with. They don't have that love. They want to stand up and everybody's afraid. Everybody is sometimes because they are insecure in themselves. And that's why they do that. Anxiety. When someone is insecure, uncertain, is definitely they are anxious. They're anxious, anxious of what do they think of me, especially people that have done something wrong before. I mean, I've talked about how I lived and how the things that I did wrong, getting into relationship, sex before marriage, against the will of God, getting into abortion and getting into all of those things. But the truth is that for me, Christ have redeemed me. The Bible says Christ have redeemed me from the curse of law. And so if somebody see me today, like I said some years ago when somebody was like, is that Tolu that God is using? Hey, this God, Tolu, I'm shocked. And the other person came to tell me, I say, even me, I'm shocked at myself. But nobody's going to put me down because, oh, I did this yesterday. Oh, because I committed. Oh, you killed those babies. Congratulations to you and your analogy. Like, I don't care. What concerns me now is that God has redeemed me and I'm not living that life anymore. My sins have been washed and washed and washed clean, like with the best dry cleaning person. Let me, if I want to say that about God. He said, he will, if a man, if I, he said in First John 1:9, he said, if you confess your sin, he's faithful and just to forgive you and cleanse you. Like the Bible says, if your sin be as red, mine was probably more than red. He said, but I will make them as white as snow. Wow, that is me. So I can't be insecure because, or maybe people talking about somebody, even I was in a place where a pastor was preaching. I think that was last year or thereabout. And the pastor said, oh, that sin is scar. Even when God forgive in heaven, there will be that scar. Oh, there ain't no scar on me. Not this babe, not this girl. There is no scar anywhere. So there is no scar. So because this is the reason why some people feel insecure. When I was in Nigeria, somebody came to me for counseling. I'd ministered at the Mountain of Fire church with a youth conference, talk about relationship. And somebody came to me the next day at my counseling there and he said, oh, my aunt, my sister, my senior sister was at the thing yesterday. You talk about your life and how God redeemed you. He said, oh, God has called me to talk about relationship. He said, but how can I, with all my past, I did things back before I gave my life to Christ. How can the blind lead the blind? And I said, you see, that is the point of your insecurity. How do blind lead blind? For me, I don't see myself as blind. I see myself as someone that God has opened our eyes. I was blind. Now I see. So now I'm seeing, I'm leading people that are blind so that they themselves can see. And she said, oh, I never thought of it that way. And said, I'm glad. My pleasure. I'm glad that you see it that way. So insecurity, things about the past, things about sin of the past, mistake of past, and so on, make people feel insecure. Sometimes your physical being. Oh, why did God create me like this? I mean, like I met somebody in England and we dated, and the person was trying to insinuate something one day, like, oh, like African girls sometimes like they don't have pointed nose and so on like that. And I was like, excuse you, I'm sitting right here. I do not have pointed nose. Do you want to move on? Because I'm not going to change who I am. A lot of people are doing things to themselves because they want to fit in. God has not called us to fit in. All the people that have done extraordinary things in life, there were people that stood out. They didn't fit in. They stood out. They were distinct. It does not matter your height. I've seen people that are short, that are president of their nation, and people that are tall have to bow to them. I've seen people that are tall, and some people feel, oh, I'm too tall. I remember when I was growing up, and I find out that people that were around me were short. I didn't realize then they were short, and I wanted to start bending. Thank God that I didn't bend because I didn't even know how priceless my height was at that point. So you don't, what is the blemish that you think that, oh, some people want to go bleach their skin and turn white because of what? When the Bible said, I think it, yeah, it not that I think, it's Solomon that said it, King Solomon. He said, black is beautiful. Black, bold, beautiful. Can you see that? So why do you want to be somebody else? Why do you, the insecurity come because we don't believe in ourselves? If you don't know how to speak good English, it does not matter. You can learn. Who says that English is the only language in the world? There are certain people, there are certain countries that don't speak English. And when you when you want to do business with them, somebody will have to interpret. You have to get the interpreter because they don't care. They are proud of their language. They are proud of their who they are. I'm proud of being in America. I'm proud of this country. It does not matter what anything. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of. That does not mean that I live in a perfect country. That does not mean that I have a perfect family. Far from it. That does not even mean that I'm perfect as a person. But you cannot let insecurity rob you of things. Some people that could actually come out, I've seen people that have beautiful voice that could sing and they could be somebody in life. They're like, oh, who is going to listen to me? How is my voice going to be? It's okay to feel like that, but you have to snap out of that and move forward. The first time I had to lead a solo. I was in the choir. That was in Jos Winner Celebration Chapel, and I was in the choir. So that time, some people in church left for there was a crisis, and so some of us remaining in the choir, we were leading song every night. Everybody in the choir had a song to sing. I was the one to lead the song, Peace when trouble blows, Jehovah sees. But because the song has some things, I would change key. I would change key. Ah. Then the night before the final rehearsal, they said, oh, we're not going to take this song again. So I was the only one that didn't have solo. But I knew that I loved to sing. I knew that since I was a child, I was in the choir with my family and I knew that I wanted to, but I kept quiet. When I was going home, I felt sad, like seriously. But I started worshiping and so on. I just those are the ways that I get away. If anytime I feel I'm feeling feeling down or feeling depressed, I like to worship. And so I did till I got home and I said, God, I don't know. It's okay. If I'm not to sing, I'm gonna be part of the choir. At least I'll stand on the stage. And so that was it. So we started the conference. There was somebody that came from America at that time, Reverend Jesus. And we started the conference, and the conference was going well. And then we were to end it on Sunday morning. And we did the song on Sunday morning. But the Reverend came up and said, you know what? The guest speaker said we should have another meeting in the evening that Sunday. Wow, we did not prepare a song for that. So the choir master said, oh, we already closed late. Everybody go, go, go. Come back in the evening. We'll come back early. We'll quickly practice something and we'll sing it. I was the first person that got back. And the choir master was there with another person. And they said, we couldn't go into the church because people were now coming into the church. And they said, oh, who knows the song? God never fails. And I said, and the three people, how many people that are there, nobody knew the song. I was the only person that knew the song and the stanzas. So they say sing it. But you see how God was going to do what he was going to do. We were not in the church, so we could not practice with instrument. Remember, it was with the instrument we had been practicing that they were able to see that I was changing key. So I sang that song. I sang the old stanza. Oh, brilliant. All the other people came, we said, that's the song we're going to sing. So meanwhile that day, I'd borrowed Mama Oyebuchi's skirt. It was my neighbor. I didn't realize that Mama Oyebuchi was endowed and I was very slim at that time. So I had ironed the skirt. It was when I had the clothes, when I was rushing to go and everything fell down. So a straight skirt, I had to use belt. So you can imagine the whole skirt flying. They were not gathers because they were not pleated. pleated, but they were flying. But I was not, I was so, God gave me that confidence and that boldness. And when it was time, guess who was the guest minister? Guest music minister, Panam Pasipo. That was the king of music in the whole of the North. Was going to be there while I'll be singing. And so they call, I took microphone, they started the this thing where I was supposed to start. The first time I didn't start. So, but the person playing keyboard now decided to stay and let me start the song because I kept looking back. So eventually I started leading the song. I led the song. I'm saying that because some people watch they're part of the church today. I started singing the song. I didn't know how I started or I finished. I was changing microphone. I'll put here. I'll change my hand. I'll put here. But one thing happened. After that ministration, the guest speaker that was a white American came up and said, wow, that was spiritual. He saw the spirit behind the song. And we finished. I sat down after the church. Everybody was going to take picture with the man and everything, but I was like right at the entrance. I just sat. I was waiting for the reverend in case he needed me to help type anything. And where I sat, I can't remember. Put my head down. I was looking. There was no phone then, no mobile phone then. Then somebody tapped me. And I look up who tapped me. It was the guest speaker that came all the way from the altar down after the service and held my hand. And I started following him to that altar. And he said they should take our picture. And he said, why the next day, and we took picture and we left. The next day, the elders of the church started looking for me. When they found me, they say, oh, we have looked at this place, we have looked. I said, what's happening? They said the guest minister said he was leaving that day, that he had to see me before leaving Jos. He said, while I was ministering, the Lord spoke to him concerning me. Supposing if I had entered into the mode of insecurity, one of the things that insecurity can get you to do, get you angry very easily. And even when they say, who knows the song, I will have kept quiet. Shay, they didn't give me song, so go ahead. Go ahead, sing your song that you know. Let somebody else take it. I'm not even good anyway. I can't even do it anyway. Those are the things that languages are insecurity tell us. Oh, what do I have? Look at Gideon. Gideon in the Bible said, oh, I can't even do it. My father is the least in the whole land. My tribe is now the least. That's the least of the least. But it doesn't matter. God does not look whether you are the least of the least. He still want to use you if you would deal with your insecurity and see yourself the way God sees you. The Bible says, I am fearfully made. Our Rebecca home, my wonderful daughters and grandchildren, in Rebecca home on Valentine's Day, I was talking to them and I made them to say this affirmation word that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am fearfully. I don't need anybody to come tell me, oh, Tolu, you are wonderful. Oh, that'll be the second person saying it. Oh, that'll be third actually, because God says that first. I'm saying it to myself second, and you are the third. Third, three is a crowd. So you may sometimes not need a crowd. So those depression, and that was how we started the relationship of a mentor person or person thing. God used that man because God helped me not to get into insecurity. Sometimes your voice may not be okay, but God may set you up so that you can develop yourself. You can actually develop yourself, because I started doing that later. I started putting tape and playing out that same song. I led it one day because I started working on it. I got a tape recorder, they will play, I will hear myself, I started training myself. So how do you deal with insecurity? Value and respect everyone, including yourself. When you marry somebody, when you're dating somebody, respect them. If you cannot respect or value the person you are dating, why are you dating them in the first place? Including yourself. We have staff in the ministry. I have to value them. They're human being. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm the boss. God is everybody's boss. I'm not going to say because I am the one, maybe we employ them. So no, they are human being. They are human being. So for the sake of humanity, I have to treat them with respect. Then recognize that everyone battles with things. So if you're battling with insecurity, it doesn't matter. You're not the only person. There is help. Share your struggle with your mentor. Talk to somebody. Share your struggle. This is what I struggle with. Some people in insecurity make them jealous. Look at Saul, King Saul. Insecurity of David made him wanted to kill David because he felt, oh, this is better because God prefer him. As a leader, you're going to have people that are following you, that God give them. Sometimes they even have greater grace in some other things, or even in the ministry or anything. Yours is to help them, to bring them up. It's not for you to say, oh, so that they don't overshine. Everybody will run their race. If you don't want them to overshine, what if God take you out of the scene? What happens then? So we should be secured in ourselves. I say, trust what you know, not the way you feel. Who do God say you are? That song said, I'm walking in power, I'm walking in miracle, and live a life of favor because I know who I am. So believe what God says about you, not the way that you feel. You can feel insecure, but you don't have to follow through with that. Retaliation never solves the problem. It takes you to a dark place. If you don't deal with insecurity, one day you can do something nasty. Some people are married, the person you are married to maybe has some knowledge, maybe they have a degree and you don't have a degree, and everything that they say, go through your insecure mode. Oh, is it because you went to school? Do you want to? Oh, is it because your family are from well-known family? Oh, is it because you can speak English? Uncle, auntie, if you cannot, why don't you learn to do it? You don't even need to compete with anybody. You just need to be yourself, the better version, best version of yourself. Then if you hurt somebody because of your insecurity, make peace with them. Make peace with them. Jesus was not insecure in any way, form, or shape. Even though the scribe, they had all the degrees and all of this thing, but Jesus did not allow that to intimidate him. He knew who he was, and he lived on earth as a person sent by God on an assignment. He was not looking to please the whole world. He was not looking for the whole world approval. And I want to say to you today, you don't need everybody's approval. You need God's approval. You need your own approval as long as pride is not in you. Some people say, oh, I know who I am, but it's pride that is speaking. As long as it's not pride that is speaking, you do not. If you work in a place, yes, you need the approval of the people because they're going to rate you based on your work anyway. So, but my thought today to say to you, please be careful. Insecurity can take people to dark places. Husbands have killed their wife because of insecurity. Wives have killed husband because of insecurity. People, spouses, whether couple, whether dating or or whether engaged or whatever, people have destroyed each other because of insecurity. You can do that. You can pray about it. You can pray with somebody about it. You can see a therapist. You can see a counselor. You can talk to your mentor about it. So one of the things that I thank God for in my life was when I met my mentor of blessed memory, my father in the Lord, Reverend Adams. D.S. Adam of blessed memory. I was vulnerable. This is me. And when God brought Pastor Reverend Sam Adeyemi into my life, I was vulnerable. This is this. This is what I shouldn't feel this way. I was able, because one of the things I've learned in my life, when you judge yourself, you will not be judged. When you know that the flesh that we carry is vulnerable. Sometimes you will say some things later on. If you're a person that think, you say, why did I say such a thing? And then you know that you shouldn't say it again. And when you have even thought some things, I don't know whether it's just me, but those thoughts comes somewhere, sometimes even bad thoughts and your negative thought. And then I'll have to say, I reject it in Jesus' name. And you walk towards it. So as long as you're human, things will happen. Negative thoughts will come. Wrong words will come. Wrong thing about yourself will come, but you have to consistently deal with it and not live in negativity or insecurity. And I pray for someone today that God will remove your heart and your life from a dark place. If you're going through depression, if you're going through not believing in yourself, not knowing that you can do something, I pray for you today that the strength of the Lord will abide with you. I pray for you today for courage in the name of Jesus. Philippians 4:13 said, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I pray that God will give you that boldness that you need to stop hiding and to come out in the open and let the giftings of God in your life beautify your world and beautify people that are around you. And I pray that if you're a person that is insecure, you want to control people, you want to control the narrative, you want to do all those things, you want to be bad to people, you want to second guess, like all the things that comes with insecurity. I pray today that the Lord will deliver you from the spirit of insecurity in the name of Jesus. And in any way that it is affecting your relationship, either your family, your relationship, love relationship, or any form of relationship, I pray that the Lord will give another chance for that relationship to be built in the name of Jesus. And for once in a while, insecurity, I pray for grace. I'm guessing as long as we live, those things are not going to go away. But the depth of insecurity you can actually overcome it. And I pray that the Lord continue to be with you in the name of Jesus. So thank you, people that are saying to me, Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Thank you for joining us. So next week, by God's grace, I'm trusting God to bring Stephanie, all things being equal. She's come here before and talk about the death of her son and how she was able to do so. But next week, by God's grace, we're going to be talking about our marriage, what went wrong in our first marriage and our marriage now, lessons that she has learned, and so on like that. You're going to also be hearing her story, what happened to her in our first relationship. Very soon too, by God's grace, we're also going to bring a man to talk about it, because when we hear abuse, people are all like, yes, the man abused you. It comes sometimes both sides. There are women that are abusing their husband too, even physically, so those things we're going to talk about it too later so that we can balance everything that we're saying. So till I see you next week, keep loving yourself. I'm going to keep enjoying my life flower till it withers off, but I'm going to enjoy it. So enjoy who you are, who God has made you to be. Be the best version of who you can be, and enjoy life always. Loving God, loving people around you by loving yourself. God bless you. Bye bye.